George W. Bush, Mark Thiessen. Now we begin with former President Trump setting the record straight, slamming Democrats and the media for manufacturing outrage over these remarks at a rally this weekend.
Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars.
President Biden was quick to react, accusing Trump of wanting another January 6th on social media. It didn't take long for fellow Democrats and the media to fall in line and echo Biden's attack.
Folks, these people never learn. These Democrats, they are always so predictable. So former President Donald Trump had another speech on the campaign trail for 2024 this weekend, and he used the word bloodbath in conjunction with talking about cars being manufactured by the Chinese in Mexico as a way to skirt around the law and the taxes and the tariffs and whatnot. These Democrats never learn, and it just continues to crack me up. What is the matter with these people? Hello, folks. These Dems, these liberals, these woke people, they have to get a new line, a new something different. They know the lawfare's not working. They know their lies are not working. They know President Donald Trump is ahead in the polls. So why not? We'll go ahead and make up something about a bloodbath. So let me take a second and welcome all of my free-minded friends. J.R. Dukes at your service. We have this fantastic video coming at you right now. And without further ado, we're going to get right back into it. Let's go.
And echo Biden's attack.
What I heard was a continuation of the same rhetoric, the same endorsement of political violence that we've seen from Donald Trump for years, as you pointed out. It goes even farther back.
We are all desensitized and inured to the extraordinary, remarkable, and very, at times, un-American and threatening things that the former president is saying.
We can't take him, look at what he's saying and think, oh, well, we're going to be accurate for this. We're going to say he was referring to the auto industry.
We just have to win this election because he's even predicting a bloodbath. What does that mean? He's going to exact a bloodbath? There's something wrong here.
We did not miss the full context. This was not some meandering off-message comment. This is his message.
Obviously, he's talking about a bloodbath for America. It's laid out in the terms of it. And these idiots on Twitter, these idiots on cable news, these idiots on Sunday shows going, well, presidents, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just, let me say that at 6:15 a.m. It's just, he knew what he was doing. We're not stupid. Americans aren't stupid. He was talking about a bloodbath.
With such uproar over Trump's remarks, you would think his critics would have never used a term like bloodbath in the past.
This is good, folks. This is good.
But as Politico.com reports tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC,
as part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath.
Coming out of Iowa, they were promising that this was effectively going to be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough.
The midterm elections may not be the bloodbath for Democrats that's been predicted.
Joe Biden was just talking the other day about, his concerns about a negative bloodbath.
And this is probably going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath in November.
It would be a bloodbath.
They could see a bloodbath, too.
Did you catch that? That was Joe Scarborough just got done complaining about how outrageous it was for Donald Trump to use that word. He just used it himself.
They could see a bloodbath, too.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
A bloodbath at the ballot box.
Ah, that Bloodbath tastes like raspberry sweet jam, Mark Thiessen, because that's a lot of hypocrisy we just saw.
Yeah, it's a
Lots
bloodbath for the media's credibility. Here's the problem. When everything is an outrage, nothing is an outrage, right? So he was clearly talking about the economy. He was clearly saying this was going to be an economic bloodbath for American workers. The big problem with what he said was that he was going to violate his own U.S., Mexico, Canada free trade agreement in order to stop this. But they keep doing this. You know, he goes and makes a joke saying, well, I'll be a dictator for one day. And they say, aha, he admitted he'd be a dictator. Or he says he's going to round up all the illegal migrants that Biden let into the country. And they put out a statement saying he's admitted that he's going to deport, round up millions of Latinos. No, he didn't. He said he's going to round up the illegal migrants that Biden let in. And oh, by the way, Biden just in his State of the Union asked Congress for money for what? Detention beds. He wants to detain them too, supposedly. So it's just this. It's like the boy who cried wolf. Every time when everything Trump says is an outrage, they tune you out and people don't listen. They wonder why no one cares when they call these things out and why people are still supporting Trump despite these statements.
And Kayleigh, so we heard that apparently if there was a context associated with the term bloodbath, that you would be an idiot, that you in fact weren't midst of the full context. But let's put out what President Trump said this morning on Truth Social, which was describing in fact the context, saying, look, the fake news media and their Democrat partners in the destruction of our nation pretended to be shocked at my use of the word bloodbath, even though they fully understood that I was simply referring to imports allowed by crooked Joe Biden, which are killing the automobile industry.
He's exactly right in putting this out on Truth Social. And in a minute, I have a video he released along with that statement that is going to be a little hilarious, to put it mildly.
Automobile industry. So they're the subject of their ire, explaining for the millionth time, look, this was the context, and yet there's still a huge vitriol, or at least manufactured vitriol.
Right. Look, you would expect Biden and Team Biden to take a part of President Trump's comments and capitalize on it. That's just what campaigns do. You would expect Pelosi to do it. Hillary got in on the action doing the same this morning. You'd expect Democratic operatives to do that. But the problem is when the Biden-Harris headquarters, their rapid response team, can take a clip of Joe Scarborough, put it out this morning, and it's the media doing the bidding of the left. It is as if the media is the rapid response team for the Democrats. There needs to be a real reckoning among the media because there's a crisis of confidence in this institution. How do you report this story? Put out Trump's comment, put it in full context, allow Trump to expound upon it, and then put out the Biden campaign statement and allow viewers to see for themselves what actually happened. But you don't see that in media. Instead, you see them jumping to be the left's rapid response organization. This is why I must say we have to have presidential debates. America deserves to see Trump, his statements in full, Joe Biden, his statements in full, and make a decision. Because right now you've got the media interpretation and Americans deserve better.
But Morgan, let's see what Americans have been subjected to visually. So here's just a small sample of some of the headlines by your liberal media, right? Politico, Trump says country faces bloodbath. NBC, Trump says there will be a bloodbath. How many times can they put in our face a certain line, to Kayleigh's point, and not have the full context, not have the full explanation?
They are always like this. This is just the way that the media, the legacy media, operates, with very few exceptions. The reality is the media generally draws the type of individuals that are generally liberal, democratic, woke to begin with. So you have to understand that premise, number one. And then number two, they just think we're all stupid. It's just that simple. They think that they can sway us. They can call us deplorables. They can call us MAGA, whatever name they want to go with for that particular day. And they think that we're going to go ahead and say, oh, you're right. We need to vote the way you think we need to vote, Mr. and Miss Liberal, Mr. and Miss Media. And that is not the case. Now, there's this other video. Let's take a quick peek at it from former President Donald Trump on his Truth Social page today in relation to his speech and this so-called bloodbath nonsense. So let's take a quick peek at this.
Politico.com reports tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC.
Headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough. Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we can count the bodies.
As part of the quote MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath.
Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other. Bloodbath for Bernie Sanders.
It's been a bloodbath. They're shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are often a bloodbath.
This week's bloodbath for Democrats.
A bloodbath at the ballot box.
There could be a Republican bloodbath.
They'll talk about a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. I have to talk about you. And
It's going to be a bloodbath all day long.
Is in for a bloodbath.
Hasn't been a bloodbath on the way down. Donald Trump bloodbath. Be a bloodbath.
Predicted to be a bloodbath.
May not be the bloodbath.
It would be a bloodbath.
More of a bloodbath.
It's going to be a bloodbath in November.
Possible Biden bloodbath this November.
A bloodbath on Wall Street.
There's going to be a bloodbath
In Alabama into a bloodbath.
Obviously, there was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. We're down 800 points.
This bloodbath at Department of Homeland Security.
And it's a bloodbath today.
There was going to be this bloodbath.
Election bloodbath.
It could be a bloodbath for them. Bloodbath, possibly.
Bloodbath that went through with the Attorney General. Bloodbath 99 days out. The bloodbath is going to look like.
Presided over a bloodbath in the diplomatic corps.
Absolute, in my opinion, bloodbath. The Democrats are
Calling it ticket sales turned into a bloodbath.
Ticket sales for singer Taylor Swift's latest tour.
It's safe to say the fans had a bloodbath for the company after the fiasco.
It is so hilarious how the Democrats, these woke, liberal-minded individuals, they always do this. Think back to the January 6th nonsense and protesting the election when Donald Trump protest the election, or at least is looking into irregularities or issues with the election. The Democrats and woke people went crazy, yet the same terminology and language he used, he was able to put a copulation together and show they do the same thing. And he had the perfect response in this particular bloodbath situation, showing unequivocally that they do exactly the same thing they accuse President Donald Trump of doing. It is ridiculous, folks. Hey, appreciate you joining me. And as always say, keep that free mind, never give up. And until next time, I am J.R. Dukes.